Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Gospel Music Training Center. This is JP, Jonathan Powell. Thanks for tuning in to another video tutorial. We're back with another topical lesson. I'm excited about this because we're touching on something we've never touched on before, and that's musician's gear. This series is called the Musician's Gear series, and we're going to be getting into technology and how you can use that to enhance your sound. So why are we doing this? Well, we've been getting a lot of requests about computers and different devices and how musicians use these in a church service. And we're going to be breaking that down step by step. So I hope you got some pen. I hope you got some paper. We got a lot to cover. So the software that we're going to be using is called Mainstage. Now, Mainstage is only for Mac, but don't worry. This is the Musician's Gear series, and we're going to be getting into the different software that works on different platforms for PC as well as Mac. So you're not going to be left out. Look forward to that soon. All right, so we're going to get started. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is gear. What type of gear am I using in this particular lesson? So first off, this here is the Yamaha Motif 8 workstation. And I've been using this keyboard for quite some time. But I got to tell you, for the last 5 or 6 years, I have not used any sounds out of this thing. I'll say it one more time, no lie. I have not used any sounds from this keyboard. It's phenomenal though. But on my lessons for at least the past 5, 6 years, or going back further than that, I've been using sounds straight out of my computer. That tells you the power of technology. I think nowadays it really doesn't matter what type of keyboard you have, other than, for the feel, if you want weighted keys or, those particular things. But nowadays, you don't have to have the most expensive keyboard because the sounds that are in it don't even matter because you can use your keyboard for that. Now, I'll go to a church nowadays and I don't even care what type of keyboard they have because I'm going to be carrying my computer with me. And as long as that keyboard has MIDI, I'm in the game. All right, so think about it like that. That's the power of technology, and that's where everything is moving now. All right, so next up, what I have here is the M Audio USB Uno. Now, this cable is used to hook your keyboard up to your computer. Now, with Yamahas and different keyboards, they also have something called USB directly on the keyboard itself. And you would have to download the driver in order for your keyboard to communicate straight through USB. But if you don't have a keyboard that has USB on it, this particular cable has a driver built into it where it can communicate USB on one end, and then on the other end you can go straight MIDI. All right, so that's the M Audio USB. You can pick this up from your local music store. You can even order this on Amazon, Guitar Center. Just Google it, it'll come up. All right, now this is Mainstage. This is the software. Now, I was actually surprised because I've been running Mainstage 2, and that comes with Logic Pro. That's the software that I use to make all the backing tracks and even record the video tutorials. But I actually was looking for the update for Mainstage 3, and I had to buy it. I was like, man, I gotta buy this thing. But when I saw the price, I was shocked because it was only $30. This thing does so much, but it was only $30. So if you have a Mac computer, all you need is $30 and you're in the game. So that's Mainstage 3. You can Google it. You can go on apple.com. I'm not going to go too far into it because that's what this whole lesson is about, but that's Mainstage 3. You can pick it up. Now, this is my audio interface. It's called the Apple G Duet, and it's USB. It's the Apple G Duet 2. Now, you don't necessarily have to have this particular audio interface because you can use any audio interface. I just love this thing because I love the sound. I love the high end that it has. Like I said, it's USB, and it has 2 inputs for instruments, but beware. These 2 instrument inputs are also mic inputs too. So if you have 2 instruments going in, you don't have any mics. So it allows you to have 2 mics and 2 instruments, but not all at the same time. All right. Now these 2 things right here are your audio outputs. This is where you would send the audio signal out of your computer to a speaker, a mixer, monitors, whatever you would like. That's what you would use these two things for, all right? Now, here we have the headphone output. Now, the headphone output is special because it doesn't only just send just the headphone signal out, but you can use the headphone output to send a separate audio signal that you won't hear through these two audio outputs. So that means if you have like a track, right, and you're playing to a loop, a drum loop, and you want the click to come out, you can send the click or the metronome out of the headphone source output, and you can send that straight to your drummer and no one else will hear it. So that's the dope thing about this. I love it. So once again, this is the Apple G Duet USB 2. Now, you don't necessarily have to have this. You can use any audio interface. That will do. All right, so let's go to the next thing. Now, this thing right here, this is the Korg Nano Control 2. I love this thing. It does so much. It frees me up from having to touch my computer. It has knobs, it has sliders, it has buttons, and everything is assignable. So say, for example, I can have piano on this slider. I can have strings on this slider. I can have horns on this one. And all of these buttons right here, solo, mute, record. I can do everything straight from here without even having to touch my computer. So that's the beautiful thing about that. Now, you don't necessarily have to have this. There's also something called the Akai LPD, but really any MIDI controller will do because Mainstage gives you the power to assign any MIDI interface to it. So if I wanted to assign this knob to the main volume, I could do that. Pretty much anything. The options are unlimited. Now, this here is what I use for all of my software instruments. It's called Contact 5. It's by a company called Native Instruments. This is my go-to for all of my sounds, for all of my lessons, for all of my backing tracks. This gives me a realistic quality sound from strings to horns to pianos. This is it. Now, you don't necessarily have to have this in order